I'm single. I'm 47 and single. I'm sorry to bring down the room. I should have said I'm 47 and I have cancer. That would have been less depressing. Who here is my age or older and still single? Clap it up if you... They can't see your hands on the album. Clap it up. Thank you for being so brave. It's horrible. What's the question everybody asks you? Why are you still single? Why are you still single? Fuck you. That's the rudest question. Why are you so unappealing? Why are you detestable? And then what do you say? You just give them that stock answer. You're like, yeah, I just haven't found the right guy yet. Slept with 10,000 men, but haven't found the right one. I'm picky. I tried a date. I've had so many horrible dates. I went on a date with this guy. I actually met him on an Atlantis cruise. Has anyone ever been on these? The gay cruises? It's so fun. It's like a floating bathhouse. It's like 4,000 gay men, and everyone just like fucks their brains out and does drugs all week, and someone always overdoses and dies. It is a good time. I recommend the Atlantis cruise. And I met this guy, and strangely enough, we did not fuck on the cruise, but we exchanged names and phone numbers, and he lived in New York, and so once we got back to New York, we made a date. And I used to tell this story on stage, and I would use his real name, but I can't do it for the album because I'll be sued. So what I will tell you is that he was one of these guys where his first name and his last name both sound like last names. So for the sake of this joke, I'm going to call him Anderson Cooper. I want to make clear it is not Anderson Cooper in the real story, but his name sounds a lot like Anderson Cooper. So I went on a date with Anderson Cooper. We went to he took me to kind of a fancy restaurant, and I had the duck. And in the middle of the meal, he goes, I got fucked by 5 guys one night on the ship. I took video of it. I'll send it to you. And I was like, ooh, this guy's kind of a pig. And when I find out that I'm on a date with a pig, I have 2 simultaneous reactions. The first reaction is like, yay, a pig! And then the other reaction is like, ooh, I hope he's not a bigger pig than I am. Because I want a boyfriend who will come with me to the black party, but not one who's going to be performing at the black party. There's like that subtle distinction. And so the meal continues, and at a certain point, I started to feel like a rumbling down here. Like the duck was not sitting well. So I excused myself, I went to the restaurant bathroom, and I had massive diarrhea. Just horrible, they have to remodel afterwards diarrhea. And I finished, and I, cleaned up the best I could, and I came back to the meal, and we continued, and then after the meal, he invited me back to his place. Now, a normal person would have said no, but I'm a pig, as we've already established. So I went back to Anderson Cooper's apartment, and as soon as we get there, he gets real aggressive. He sort of pushes me against the wall and sticks his tongue down my throat, and he's putting his hands everywhere, and I'm thinking, I'm not sure about this. I don't feel, very clean. So I said, can you excuse me for just a moment? I thought, before this goes any further, I went into his bathroom, and I took what I like to call a butt bath. Some of you men must know about this. It's not a full-on shower. I didn't get completely naked. I just took my shoes and my socks and my pants off. Just like my undergarments. I kept the shirt on, and I just turned on the bath, the lower spigot, whatever the fuck you call that. I turned it on, and I just kind of squatted and just splashed some water and a little soap, just for a minute, just enough to freshen up. And then I got out, and I put my clothes back on. I was probably in there for all of 2 minutes, but I guess he heard the bathtub water. So when I came out into the bedroom, he goes, "Did you just take a shower?" And I said, "Well, I kind of rinsed off a little bit." And he goes, "That seems pretty presumptuous, don't you think?" And I said, "Well, things were sort of moving in a direction, and I just didn't feel so fresh, and I just kind of wanted to clean up a little bit. And he's like, well, I'm not going to fuck you. And I said, well, I know you're not going to fuck me because I just had a massive diarrhea attack back at the restaurant. But something was going to happen, and I just thought it would be, polite if I cleaned myself up before I got naked with you. And he goes, well, I mean, this is a first date. Like, what did you think was going to happen on a first date? And I was like, didn't you get fucked by 5 guys and videotape it on the ship? And he was like, well, that was just sex. This is a date. And I said, well, why don't you write out a list of rules telling me what I should and shouldn't do on a date so that next time I will know? And he goes, I think you should go. And I was like, I'm going. So I woke up the next morning feeling really shitty about the whole thing. And I was like, I don't like bad energy. I don't like leaving it like this. So I sent him a DM on Facebook, and I was like, listen, I'm sorry we had miscommunication last night and things got out of hand. I really hope we can be friends. Thank you for dinner. And his response to that was to block me. And it was then that I remembered the immortal words of Dr. Maya Angelou. When people show you who they really are by shaming you for taking a butt bath in their shower, believe them. Isn't that the quote? She said something like that to Oprah. I ran into Anderson Cooper a couple months later at the Eagle, at the urinal trough. I didn't recognize him at first because I wasn't looking at his face. All of a sudden I hear, Adam. I was like, oh, hey. He goes, listen, I'd really appreciate it if you stopped talking about me on stage. I've had several friends tell me that you're saying shitty things about me and I don't appreciate it. And I said, well, I don't appreciate that you were such a fucking bitch to me and then you blocked me on our date. And then I blew him. So... That's why I'm still single. That was a long joke. That's going to be like a 7-minute track on the album.